Hello and welcome to another episode of the Football Fun Factory podcast. I'm your host Luke Chadwick, joined by the fantastic Johnny Martin and wonderful James Cutting.
Wow.
How are you both?
Good, mate. You?
Even better after that.
It was a great intro, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm honoured to be the host of this podcast.
Webinar.
Well, I do so many. But to speak to you guys about football coaching and to ask some questions, some hard-hitting questions about children's football coaching. And this week, we are going to be talking about summer tournament challenges.
Yeah, it can be tough. So,
Tough times.
Looking forward to it.
Brilliant. You ready for a question?
Ready.
Okay, so you've booked in for your first summer tournament of the season. You can take a maximum of 8 players to the tournament, but 11 children want to attend. How are you going to deal with that? So you can only take a maximum of 8.
First come, first serve.
First come, first serve, James.
In my communication to the parents, I would say that we can take a maximum of that, and it's first come, first serve. So I would make it clear, because with Johnny's approach, what's going to happen is they're going to get all these people to come back, and he's then going to say, "Sorry guys, first come, first serve," and they're all going to be upset. So he set himself up for failure.
I think you've just taken advantage of the situation in terms of you've taken Johnny's answer and just put a bit more detail. Because Johnny answered the question first, I'm going to award the point to him and allow him to put a little bit more meat on the bone.
So obviously with our answers, they're going to be short and sweet to leave you wanting more. What I would then go on to say was I would communicate that ahead of time to the parents to make them aware that was the situation. Another thing you can do, that ultimately, if your hands are tied, you can only take 8. There's not much more you can do. One thing that you might do, I thought you might say, because I beat you to it, but is
2 squads.
No. Is just say to the parents, this is the situation. We can only take 8. 11 people have come back and said they can. Is anyone willing to withdraw? If not, we'll then go with first come, first serve. Because we think that everything revolves around football and the tournament, and of course lots of the parents and children are desperate to play, but actually you might find that 1 or 2 of the parents were not going to a party because they thought they needed to play in this tournament. So I think some of the parents might welcome the opportunity to dip out. So probably ask the parents if anyone can't make it or would like to swap their place, and they can do. If not, first come, first serve.
But when it comes to tournament football, obviously things change. You're at a tournament, it's about getting through, getting to the final, potentially winning it. Do you think that the answer that both you guys have given would be the norm in terms of grassroots coaching when it comes to that tournament time? And it's in my experience, sometimes it's get the best 8 players there, give us the best opportunity of winning the tournament.
I think lots of grassroots coaches would cherry pick the best players. Because people see... I think grassroots football tournaments bring out the worst in football coaches.
Yes, 100%.
Because there's a trophy to be won, there's medals, and there's ego and pride at stake. And competition is a good thing for children. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to learn from defeat. You know, getting to the final and losing on penalties can be a life-changing experience in a positive way. There's life lessons in that. But I think a lot of coaches see a tournament, see an opportunity to go and win it, and even more so on a week-to-week basis within league matches, I think that it possibly brings out the worst in people.
And do you understand that? no, sorry, not James' answer.
Do you get it, Johnny?
I mean,
I don't get it.
Do you understand why coaches are like that, or do you just think it's because apologies for the misunderstanding? Like, do you think
so
that's
condescending?
It generally didn't mean to be.
Can someone clip that and send it to me?
That's fantastic.
I mean, like with the do you understand why coaches are like that?
So when I worked in academy football, and we used to go on European tours, and obviously it's slightly different to grassroots in that you're trying to help the children develop, and that sort of of course you try and do that in grassroots as well, but ultimately it is slightly different, academy football to grassroots. We used to try and get the children as far in the tournament as possible, not to come home with a trophy, of course if you did then great, but actually because in those latter stages of a tournament, that's where you get the higher pressure, you play the bigger teams, it's a better experience for the children. If they then get knocked out in the semis, it's a great learning opportunity for the kids rather than getting knocked out in the group stages, because they go through different stages and different opportunities to learn. So I completely get, even from if the best intentions are there to try and get children to the latter stages, I get why coaches might pick the best 8 players. Where it doesn't sit right for me is when it is for their ego and they just want to go home with a trophy so they can post on social media and say, I've won, when you haven't, it's the children. But I do get it. So
do you understand?
I do understand. I don't get it.
Okay then, good answers. 1-0 Johnny. On to question 2.
Question 2.
Okay, this is a fantastic question. I'm going to start with you, James, okay? Brilliantly, you've got to the final
Congrats.
of the tournament.
Yeah, common thing.
Unfortunately, in the semi-final, the parents got a little bit rowdy, breaking the club's code of conduct.
Oh,
how are you going to deal with this situ?
I'm going to have a team meeting with the children and the parents, and I'm going to say, as we go into the final, there's only one thing more important than winning and having fun. It's that we conduct ourselves in the right way. So emotions are high. It's I understand why people are, maybe shouting from the sidelines when they wouldn't normally, but let's conduct ourselves in the best possible way. So just a reminder, but to talk about that is more important than the result of the game.
Okay, meeting with players and parents. Johnny?
Great answer, James. I would have a meeting just with the parents, because I feel that you can get a slightly more to the point message across and you don't need to sugarcoat it, so you can explain to them what they've done.
Very good answer as well, Johnny. I'm going to give the point to you, James, and I want to hear about what this meeting entails. What's it like? What's the tone of voice? What are you going to say to them?
It's about education. So the reason I would have the children within that, I agree that you could say to the parents, come on, we need to set an example.
Your answer's better, I agree, yeah.
So I think there is an opportunity to be more direct with the parent and say, I don't want to see that from the sidelines, that's not what we do here. Whereas you probably wouldn't say that in front of the children.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's an opportunity. The way in which I would picture it is, guys, I'm so proud of everyone. I'm so proud of the fact that we've got to the final of this 5-side tournament. The things that have got us to the final are passion, determination, resilience, great play, teamwork, and at times respect. Sometimes in the last game from the sidelines, I don't think we were as respectful as we could have been to the opposition. And my number one outcome from the final of this match is not to win the game. I'd love to win the game. I'd love us to win a trophy. But my number one thing that I want us to do is come off the pitch, having won the game or not, is to be respectful to the opposition, because that's more important than the result.
Fantastic. Would you, obviously in a question about that code of conduct within the club, would you refer to that within, sort of obviously directed at the parents, but with the children involved in that meeting as well?
If you don't refer to the code of conduct, what's the point in having it? That documentation is there for a reason. You put it in place at the start of the season, you issue it, you remind people of it when they fall foul of the rules that you're setting and that everyone's agreeing to. So I think there's an opportunity to just refer back. In the last game, we did break the code of conduct, and it's really important that we stand by those rules for the good of everyone, not least the opposition.
Fantastic. Johnny, have you got any thoughts?
No, perfect answer. Brilliantly pitched.
How would you feel deliberate? Obviously, you're the coach. Probably emotions are quite high as well. You're absolutely buzzing. You're in the final of the tournament, and then you go. Is there a danger of that being a little bit too emotional, like when you're speaking to obviously a group of children and a group of adults, of how you pitch what you're saying?
The biggest thing with that, sorry to cut across you, JC, is just giving yourself a bit of time. It doesn't need to be straight after the game, does it? Obviously in tournament football, you normally have a window until the next game, so I think it's give yourself a moment, spend time with the children, let them go and spend time with the parents, collect your thoughts, and give yourself that breathing room to be really clear on what the messages that you are going to say to avoid that happening. Because I think that's really important just in general in tournament football, is like you give yourself thinking time in between like instructions to the children at the end of the game and before the next game. And we did in academy football when I was taking the teams, like would let the children have time to themselves whilst you could then think about, right, what am I going to say? How am I going to then help them in the next part? So I think you can avoid that just by giving yourself a bit of breathing room.
The challenge, I think, is we're asking a lot of grassroots coaches here.
Yeah.
That we're asking someone that's essentially giving up their time, that is skilled in something else other than, it's not their job, it's not their profession to be a football coach. Although there's some fantastic, hugely passionate football coaches, volunteer coaches. And of course, people go off and get their qualifications and gain experience as they go on. But for a lot of coaches, it may be that it's their first season, could be their first tournament. As much as young players might be playing their first tournament, the coach might be leading their first one. So for me to now pitch it in that way, having been to loads of tournaments, having been to European tournaments, having coached loads of football sessions, loads of matches, to then for me to say how I would deal with it quite confidently and capably.
Yeah.
And there may be some transferable skills where actually that grassroots coach is, works within a big bank and he's got corporate experience of being able to deliver messages like that and leadership experience. But to ask them to, wash the kit, put on the training sessions, organise the matches, be good at admin, organise all the parents to be where they need to be, set the team, deliver the training sessions and be able to deliver a really compelling reminder of the code of conduct. It's not easy. Like being a grassroots football coach is tough, and there's sometimes I guess then the opportunity there is to maybe lean on some other people, whether there's another parent within the team that might be good at delivering that message. And sometimes if it comes from within, it's also quite a good way, rather than the coach kind of preaching to the parents, here's how I need to behave and follow the code of conduct. Might be there's a parent that champions that and is in charge of ensuring that the code of conduct is followed, so it comes from within instead.
No, it's obviously a tough situation. I mean, it's not football coaching, is it? You've stepped away from football coaching, like you say. You're someone who's given up your time, volunteering, coaching the team, but then having to deal with that. So it just shows, as you say, how much is involved in grassroots football coaching.
Yeah, and I think, look, with this podcast, what we're trying to do is go through different scenarios and help where we can, and we really appreciate all the hard work that goes into grassroots football and all the volunteers up and down the country, and without them there wouldn't be grassroots football. So anything that we say, obviously there are some bad examples of grassroots coaching across the country, and that's not necessarily through bad intentions at times. It can just be lack of experience or knowledge, and that's ultimately what we're trying to do within this podcast is share as many tips, because we're so grateful for the hard work that goes on up and down the country.
Fantastic. 1-1?
1-1.
See what happens next.
What could happen next?
2-1.
Now this is an interesting, I'm not sure if either of you would have, you may have done, you may have encountered this scenario before, but I don't know. A well-meaning mum brings freshly baked cakes to the games and insists all the children have a cake at half time. What are you going to do about that situation, John?
Thank the mum for bringing the freshly baked cakes and ask if we can have them after the game.
Okay. James?
Thank the mum and let the kids have a cake, and then just say, educate the mum about what maybe it'd be great to have this next time instead. If you want to do any more baking or cooking. Or
she will. She loves it.
Bring some oranges.
I'm going to go with your answer, James. I'm interested to hear more.
I have experienced something a little bit like this before.
Let's hear about it.
So there used to be I remember, this is a vague memory from a long, long time ago. This is going back like decades. Grassroots football. There used to be someone, I don't know who it was, one of the mums used to cut up Mars bars into little slices.
I remember that. I'm obviously a different person, but I've had that before as well.
Yeah.
They look so much more appealing.
Yeah,
They did.
It's so good.
There's something about a sliced Mars bar that's just...
We'd never
really
dream
good.
of doing it. Like,
No.
never get home, sort of get out a
Get
knife and fork and slice up a Mars bar. But yeah,
Do you know what I'm going to do when I get home? Cut Snickers up. But it's just education, isn't it? Like, at the end of the day, if they have a cake at half time, it's not a big deal, is it? If they're under sevens, you know, might get pulled up with a stitch halfway through the second half or something. But it's like not worth upsetting the parent. Essentially, I think what the question does bring to the fore, albeit a kind of very specific scenario, is that there's a lot of well-meaning parents who have like really good intentions that sometimes do things that are unhelpful, whether it's saying something from the sidelines that they feel supportive but actually is the wrong information, or whether it's bringing along cakes or cut up Mars bars, whatever it might be. Education is the key. So it's doing that in a way that's not patronising.
yeah.
And it's not.
But I suppose you can't.
Do you understand?
I suppose you can't sugarcoat it.
Let's move on.
John, you said that the reason I didn't give you the answer because the cakes were freshly baked. And obviously, you leave it till the end of the game. They're going to stale.
Ridiculous. So what the next question? Let's move on.
Okay, 2-1, James. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, guys. Interesting question incoming. You've got to the final. You've obviously educated the parents and the kids. You're in the final now.
Yeah.
End of extra time. It's 2-2. It's gone to penos. You need 5 penalty takers, obviously. Only 4 of the children have stepped forward. Only 4 want to take one. What on earth are you going to do, James?
I'm going to give them an inspirational talk on that. We've got 4 people that want to take on. We need a 5th. And this is an opportunity. So win, lose or draw, doesn't matter. And start to give a talk that not only gets you the 5th penalty taker, but also settles the nerves of the 4 people that have stepped forward.
An inspirational talk. How are you going to compete with that, John?
I'm going to see your inspirational talk. I'm going to raise it. I would do exactly the same. Okay. However, I would get the person who didn't want to be the penalty taker to go first.
Oh, I'm giving you the point for that. I want to hear more about it. How are you going to? How on earth are you going to do that? How are you going to swing this?
Just tell them they've got to go first. So I agree that you've got to try and get everyone absolutely hyped, get them buzzing to want to take it, and then try and relax their nerves. So what James said was spot on. What I was thinking when you were talking is what you wouldn't want to happen is for them to miss the penalty that is the deciding penalty. So if they went 5th, then missed, and that then becomes us out of the final, we've lost the final, then that could then stop them from playing ever again. Whereas if they went first, there's plenty of opportunity to win it back. So almost not let it build up, not let them get even more nervous and waiting for their penalty, get them first, get them out of the way. Hopefully they could just step up, smash it in, and then they're absolutely buzzing, and that then might actually then lift the rest of the children as well.
How you're going to do that? Obviously, you've got 4 kids that are more than happy to take a penalty. You've got the rest of the group. You're going to speak to the whole group. Like, are you trying to influence one individual, or hoping that by the way that you speak to them, one of the other kids is going to then step up and say, "Oh, I'll take the first one"?
I think it comes down to knowing your group and the children that you're working with. If you think that there's one on the fence and you might be able to sway them and get them to step up, and you know that they're not sure, and you can say something because you know in training you're really good at taking penalties, Luke. I want you to go first. I want you to be the one that steps up first. So I've got full trust and belief in you. That might be then enough to sway.
And would that be like an individual chat, like pulling them over and just having that chat?
I think in that case, if it's on a one-to-one basis, you're trying to influence one person, that could be one way of doing it. It equally might be best to approach it with the whole group in front of you and go, Luke, I've seen your penalties in training. You're going to be our number one, and then almost brush past it and go on to the 2, 3 and 4. And there's different ways of doing it, but ultimately I think trying to find a way that the children are looking forward to doing it and not scared with that inspirational team talk, whether that's one-to-one in a group. But I think the key, trying to get them to go earlier on in the pecking order rather than towards the end.
Have you ever been in that situation before?
No, because quite often children are keen to take one. They've almost like seen lots of penalty shootouts on TV, and they kind of want to take one. There's normally enough players that do. Quite often as well in a tournament, it might be that if it's a 5-a-side tournament, you need 5 penalty takers. Obviously, you might have a squad of 8, so most people are going to sort of take one anyway.
Yeah.
But it can be a real challenge, and I think that where my mind went to is, what do we need to avoid? I think we need to avoid a situation where you're like convincing a child, come on, you can do it, you can take one, and then that child steps up and misses, and they almost attribute the emotional turmoil of missing the penalty to you as the coach who convinced them to take one when they didn't want to. So I think settling their nerves and saying, look, penalty shootouts can go either way. Like, we could win, we could lose. It's flip of a coin. Whatever happens, we're going to learn, and maybe just settle people's nerves and try and get people to step up and say, you know, maybe it's not the biggest thing in the world. It might feel like it, but trying to play it down a little bit.
Because like at that, like as a kid, you've all been involved in it. It feels so pressurised, that situation of being in there, and is it like normalising everyone miss, because like what's a child from either team is going to miss, and they're going to be heartbroken for a period of time, but is it just normalising that, because it is a great learning experience, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it just comes down to trying to use every opportunity as a learning opportunity that helps them beyond football and those experiences that they're having. I think penalty shootout, albeit pretty brutal in the moment for the kids, it's a brilliant opportunity to teach them about resilience, bouncing back if they do miss. So yeah, just maximising those opportunities really.
What you could do is, if you do save the cakes for the end, then obviously
you've already eaten them.
They're freshly baked.
You've already smashed them at half time.
But you can say, look, guys, win, lose or draw, we all get a cake at the end, and everyone goes home happy.
You know, James are not fresh anymore. You ain't going to believe this. It's 2-2.
Oh, again.
We've got a decider.
Here we go.
Okay, guys, a decider. Final question. What is the best thing about summer tournaments, James?
The variety. So when you play one match against one set of opposition, then you benefit from playing against those kids, and it's one experience, whereas you're going to get lots of short, sharp variation of experiences by playing lots of different teams.
Variety, very good. John?
The downtime in between the games.
Hot dogs.
I'm going to award this week's show to Johnny Martin.
Oh,
so creative.
Love it. Yeah, I love it.
Can't stand him. Go on then, John. Tell us more. The downtime.
Just from my experiences when I've been on European tours in academy football, it's all of the stuff that comes around the actual football itself. So when we go away on tours, obviously you've got the night before, the build up to the tournament that later that afternoon, and you're spending time with the children, and they're absolutely buzzing about those experiences. And often when you talk to them about their experience on tour, they'll reference not actually the football, but what happened around it. And then I think for grassroots coaches, in between the matches, the kids play, they have fun with each other, they build relationships, they develop friendships, and I think that's the best bit about tournament football. And I've been to so many grassroots tournaments over the years, and when you see like the matches going on, it's great. When you see a group of kids over there running around squirting water at each other and having a laugh, that's the best bit.
No, it reminds me of my played for my Meldriff Cubs in
Cubs
a tournament.
football team.
We had a Cubs football team. It was a 5-a-side tournament at Falmere Village Recreation Ground, and I remember winning
Lovely
it.
surface.
But what I remember more than anything else is having a water fight after we won the tournament. And what you say there, that's football, isn't it?
Yeah.
For children, that is so much more important outcomes. Obviously, they're there for the reason to play football, but then social outcomes, they mean more than anything else, really, don't they?
And that's what tournament football's so good for, because you are there for an extended period of time. You play a quick match, and then you've got 20 minutes until your next game or whatever it is. And I think that's what I love about those days is seeing the kids in between the matches really have such a brilliant day and such a brilliant time, because they're just spending that time with each other in between the games, having fun and having water fights at Falmere Rec.
Falmere Recreation Ground, yeah. Great days. That must have been touching 50 years ago now. Great time. But Jeremy, Football Fun Factory built around creating them sort of memories about not just football skills, but the life skills that come with it. And what Johnny speaks about there is so sort of relevant of what we're doing at the Football Fun Factory.
The social side of the game is, for me, the number one aspect of forming memories of a child playing football. When I think back to my early childhood football experiences...
Scoring free kicks
from inside the centre circle. But I also think of just my mates and the fun we had and the laugh we had, and that day where the ball hit someone in the face and went in as an own goal, and just that you don't really care about what happens in the match. You care about what happens with your mates and the friends that you built, friendships you built. And it really shapes you as a human being, I think. Yeah. There's so many brilliant memories that we all have, and very few of them have to do with what the score was and who we played and what formation it was, and all that's just nonsense, really, isn't it?
Fantastic. Lovely way to end the questions. A massive congratulations to Johnny. 3-2 win. Great answers, though, James. Deserves a lot of credit. Just missed out on the day.
Nobody remembers the score, so about the social experience.
I remember it was 3-2.
I just remember making friends, or trying to. But are you ready for a fun fact?
Always.
Fun football fact?
Yep.
This one makes me feel very, very old. Okay, I'm going to give you a chance, as always, to answer it. Who was the first footballer born in the 21st century to represent our fantastic nation? Stumped you. John, do you want to have a stab in the dark?
No. Trying to think he's played recently. Lewis Skelly.
Apologies if you're listening to this for the dead air. Lewis Skelly, 21st century.
Oh, I can't think, Luke.
Okay.
So it'd be like...
Final answer?
Can I phone a friend?
Michael Owen.
Michael Owen? Scored in World Cup 98.
Yeah.
What was the question? I wasn't really listening.
Yeah, I tried to do the maths.
You feed me, like the way you talk to me, building up my confidence, and it's everyone's favourite part of the podcast.
Have you got another fun fact?
This is a fun fact. This is
not that fun.
It's loads of fun.
I think it will be...
Who's the first footballer born in the 21st century to represent England?
Go.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yep.
Jadon Sancho. Okay? You've ruined it. Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait for the next episode.
And a better fun fact.
That's a decent fun fact, I thought.